Hello, hello.
Hey, hello, and good day to the both of you.
Good day.
Yeah. My hat's in the wash, so
Oh, it's okay.
We've got to spar for you, laddie.
here, hand it over. See if it works. Can you hand it over? I want to see if.
Yeah, I'm having some connectivity problems, but
Well, here, just give me yours there.
I do, in fact, actually have a second one, but
Well, just give me yours for a second once and see if it fits me. Okay, here we go. All right.
Hey! Oh, I love it. Never gets old.
It's a good fit. I'm going to send it back to you though because it's yours.
all right.
There you go. Oh, it's sitting up there. I think. There we go. Awesome. Now let's switch shirts. Oh wait. So, how's everyone doing tonight on this St. Patty's? I was gonna say Eve, but I guess that would have been last night.
Yeah. Last night would have been St. Patty's Eve when St.
Yep.
Patty comes down your chimney and puts beer in your stockings.
Yeah,
That's
why my socks are out drying on the clothesline right now.
yeah. You hang them up to dry afterwards.
Yeah, he doesn't put cans in there. He just pours the beer straight in, and then you got wet socks.
Yes.
It's better for the environment that way, not all that extra aluminum.
It's a filtered beer.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Santa.
And having been filtered through my socks, it's no wonder it turned green.
No. Yes. Does anybody?
Hey, guess what?
Yeah.
Guess what? I got a comic book in the mail that's actually been on my list since like 2015 or 16, before I started even reading comics, and I decided, like after a year of saying no to myself, like I was gonna say yes to myself and pick up this comic, and I'm very happy about it. It actually looks really nice because I'm pretty sure it was secondhand, but it's actually in really good shape, and I'm very happy about that.
And which comic was it?
It's okay, I don't know if you know the TV show Warehouse 13, but it's a comic based off of the show Warehouse 13. It was
Sci-fi
on Sci-Fi like 10 years ago. Yeah. It's actually a lot of fun if you've never watched it. It's very fun, and it is a good feel-good show. But yeah, it's Dynamite. So a Warehouse 13 comic.
Yeah, I grew up with warehouses 1 through 5, and then I lost track. Like I kind of gave up around 6, but then I came back for 9 through 12.
Okay. Oh, very nice. Maybe we can find some DVD collections of Warehouse 1 through 6. Is it streaming anywhere?
Does Sci-Fi have their own app, their own streaming service?
I don't think they do, but it might be connected with somebody else's. I don't know, because they'll do that. Like the Disney Plus will have what else do they have on there now? I know there's added ones. I'm trying to remember which ones go with which things. For example, I know that the CBS All Access, when it changed over to Paramount Plus, I think they added on a few things. It was kind of the change. And they have a bunch of stuff, like I think they have Nickelodeon on there as part of that, and
there's some MTV stuff on there too, I think.
Yeah, but it's MTV, so I honestly, I don't know what MTV has had on it for the last like 30 plus years. So
Yeah, like because I know like Beavis and Butthead, I think they're doing like a new movie that's going to be on there. And when I heard that, as a big fan of Beavis and Butthead and Beavis and Butthead Do America, the movie, when I heard that there was a sequel movie for Paramount Plus, I'm like, well, they got my month subscription when that comes out. So
Mm.
yeah, I've got a lot of subscriptions that don't get used. So I actually halted that one for the time being. I'm like, when a few other things come on that I really want to watch, I'll just get it for a while, probably more than a month, but whatever. I was torn though, because when I was canceling it, they're like, we'll give you 2 months for half price, which they could have worded also as 2 months for the price of one or whatever. But yeah, so they were going to give me half off for 2 months, and I almost did it. But if I fell for every one of those traps that somebody ever tried to spring on me, well, I'd be desperate for a pot of gold.
Absolutely.
I was going to
I
ask
feel
is other than David, since he clearly celebrates St. Patrick's Day, but does anybody go through the traditions and like the eats and the drinks and the this and the that? I'm not one at all. So either of you kind of partake in any celebrations?
Sometimes, but not this year or last. I'm like a casual bandwagon of St. Patrick's Day. But I did wear a green shirt today.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, in honor of St. Patrick, every year I chase the snakes away. So,
Well, that's thoughtful of you.
but no, believe it or not, because everybody's Irish for St. Patrick's Day, right? And I actually am part Irish, but St. Patrick's Day for some reason is a holiday that I always know what's coming up, and then when it gets here, like happened again this year. I went to work, whatever. Somebody showed up wearing a green, and I'm like, oh yeah, because that's an Irish name. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's Irish bar.
Yeah, I'll usually kick off the morning with I know Irish Spring soap is a thing, but I use Irish butter on March 17th as it's a good, shower soap, deodorant and all that kind of stuff. So that kind of gets and if it's a warm day out, things start cooking up a little bit around noon or something, but kind of gets me in the spirit.
Yeah. So last week I had some corned beef. I decided to hit that a little early, and I know there were places that were serving it up today, but I didn't go out for anything. And people like to do the weird green food coloring and everything. There's all the green beer and everything because drinking's not Irish enough. They we now have to add green to it to make it more Irish-ish. Irishish.
It wasn't related to St. Patrick's Day, but I once had green cheese pizza, which years
Okay.
ago, Jack's Original Pizza were celebrating Green Bay Packers. I don't know if they were in the
Oh,
Super Bowl or it was just one thing they tried one year, but they had green cheese pizza, and it tastes normal. It's just a normal tasting, just green colored. But what's interesting is that when you cook it and everything gets not burnt, but it gets a little cooked and gets starts browning.
Yeah.
It looks really disgusting.
yeah.
It's a different kind of green on there then.
Yeah, you just have to pretty much close your eyes and remember, okay, this is going to taste normal, but I just don't want to look at it. So,
Well, at least it tasted good. See, what I thought you were going to say is like, yeah, it was, they had won the Super Bowl, so they released, in honor of this, they pulled out a pizza from the last time they won the Super Bowl, and
Yep.
and it was a green pizza.
Yep, hence the green.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any green food experiences, whether it was meant to be green or not to be green, to be or not to be green?
I mean, in kindergarten we had green eggs and ham that I think we added green food coloring to the scrambled eggs.
There you go.
Trying to think if I've.
I actually remember having
Ah.
some green ham at once at a school lunch, and I don't think it was supposed to be green.
Yeah.
That's
But yeah, I did actually. I do recall that as a kid once having some ham, and it had a little bit of a green tint to it, and I was not real sure I wanted to have that ham. I don't remember if I
I
ate
feel
it.
you. I did not like ham until I was a teenager.
Yeah, ham's not my go-to. I always say there's an ongoing joke between myself and one of my sister-in-laws, where they'll
Mhm.
she'll be hosting and she'll be having ham, and she always says, "I know you don't like ham," but I'm like, okay, here we go. Every year, I'm like, I don't hate ham. It's just not my first choice. If it's there, I'll eat it. I don't purposely buy it, but I'll definitely have a turkey, a chicken, or whatever. Ham will always be towards the end, but I'm still
Yeah.
gonna eat ham. So it's a tradition that is happens every year, which is part of what a tradition is.
I'm a
That's
ham
true.
man. Yeah, I like ham. So and I'll alternate, holidays, having a turkey one holiday and having a ham at another holiday. I'm fine with that, but I do enjoy ham and ham sandwiches and ham in salads. If I have a salad or something, a lot of times I'll do it with a cubed ham or something like that. But yeah, ham and cheese. I think I said that already. Like a grilled cheese, but with ham on it. Those are pretty good.
Yeah, I cut back on the ham just because one of my roommates gives me weird looks every time when I'm eating it. So I'm like, you know what? Out of respect, I will not eat it in the house anymore. So
You
That's
know
very
what?
thoughtful of you.
We keep plants in the house, but that doesn't stop Tammy and the kids from being vegetarians.
yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, they eat a lot of green.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And are you green with envy that they eat a lot of green?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I do actually eat my fair share of green stuff. I don't know that I eat less meat necessarily. A lot of people think that I do because I live in a house full of vegans and vegetarians that poor David, he doesn't get enough meat. So I probably eat as much. There are some times that I think that I eat more because you buy certain portions like from the store, so there's certain things that you buy, and now I'm not sharing it with other people. So now I've got to eat all that meat by myself. So I probably actually eat more meat. So their whole if they were really preaching the vegetarian diet and don't eat meat, it's probably failing with me. That I would eat less meat if they ate meat also,
Yeah, there you go.
but they would eat
Interesting.
more meat.
Here on this show for the past couple weeks, we were talking about this television show, WandaVision, and going into this here episode of Under the Cowl, I was thinking like, man, what am I going to talk about? I'm like, there's nothing to talk about, but this is where the perfect segue goes in. Going to assume, but we'll get a confirmation shortly if Katie has seen all of WandaVision yet. Have you?
No, I haven't. And if you guys want to talk about it, I can either leave or be spoiled.
Well, that's just it. We've already talked about it, so that's
Oh,
kind of up to you on what if you want to kind of talk about your thoughts from wherever you've left off.
sure. I think I am at the beginning of episode 7. Well, look, as a creative, I definitely appreciate what they're trying to do with their vision. I mean that with their ideas, their aesthetic. I think it's very creative how they were imitating all the different TV sitcoms and styles. It was actually really cool how they tied that into the story because I wasn't sure if it was going to have a meaning or not. So that was pretty cool, and I appreciate that. It's very creative. I think it took, courage to do, and it was a risk. Um, I love the style of in-depth storytelling that Disney can do now with Disney Plus. That just wouldn't really work in a Marvel movie, but is capable now because we have more time to do that. And it mirrors what we're seeing from comic books, where you can tell that might take 30 or 40 issues. So I really like that. I thought that the actors did a really good job with the characters. They're showing a lot of depth and a lot of emotion and a lot of nuance, and I liked that. Definitely fleshed out those characters for me, so I appreciated that quite a bit. Um, obviously I have seen some spoilers. I'm not like 100% concerned about this or not. Um, but from what I know of it, I think like the overall arc that these characters go on is going to be really fulfilling, and just a good progression. So that's cool. What else to say about it? Yeah, and creatively, I really respect it and I appreciate it. Emotionally, I don't know if I've had the same attachment and connection to it as other people have. But when I watch it, it's definitely entertaining. I think I made the right choice by deciding to binge it. After hearing your initial reviews to the first two episodes that were released back to back, I felt like it would be a good choice to wait and watch it. And I think I made the right decision. Had I been trying to follow along week to week, I probably would have dropped it between weeks 3 and 4. And of course, that would have been a bad time to drop it because that's when it really picks up quite a bit. So that will nice to see Darcy back. When I watched the movies, not sure how I feel about it now, but very cool that that character gets to come back, see some progression. It took all the best parts of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with their, spooky secret agency and made it into a thing. So that was really nice. I loved Monica Rambeau. I really liked that character a lot. I'd love to see more from her. She was really cool. Glad that we're getting that focus. What else? Jimmy Woo is hilarious. I love that guy. He seems like a real sweetie. I just kind of want to give him a hug and a high five. So a TV show with Jimmy and Monica and Darcy would be awesome. Would like that. What else? Seeing Wanda's progression from like a nice homemaker, stay-at-home mom to, I think, becoming kind of a villain was really cool, and definitely hit those emotions. And how Vision reacts to that, I thought was really interesting. She's got some pretty questionable morals going on, and I think that's cool. I'm not sold on the magic effect, really, to be completely honest. To me, they had several cosmic type things going on, or more spooky type things going on, and I feel like it would have been better had they just picked one. But I guess I'll have to see. And I think that is one point where being spoiled maybe did make me have less of an appreciation for it, because I already knew about the Agatha review like going in. So that's exciting, and I guess we'll have to see. But yeah, a lot to enjoy about it. It's very creative. I think it's one of the most creative things that's come out of the MCU in a while. And knowing about the history of television, I really respect what they're doing. I'd love to see them do that, like maybe not another season of WandaVision, but do different TV shows with more characters. That could be really cool. Mojo might really like that. So we could have a Mojo TV show. Not that I'm a huge fan of that character, but I like the aesthetics of that thing. Yeah, I don't know. For me, I gotta tell you, I don't have a solid attachment to either Wanda or Vision. So I'm not like, oh yeah, they're my favorite characters. I have to watch this show and get more from them. Like, I liked them. I just am not like, out of the Marvel universe, they're not my absolute diehard favorites. But I still like them. So that was unique. It was very cool. So far, I think I did it out of 10. It's very good. It's well written. It's interesting. It's visually appealing. It has all the benefits of a movie with the format of a TV show. So yeah, pretty high marks. That's what I think so far of WandaVision. I guess I'll have to follow up if I ever finish it. But I am really looking forward to Falcon and Winter Soldier. Those characters I do like. So
Excellent. Yeah, and we're just a couple days away from Falcon and Winter Soldier starting, and then I can kind of get back to my weekly routine of just counting down the
back.
days till Friday every single week.
Yeah, I'm
I
looking
like that
forward to
too.
it.
Here's that. Yeah, I thought it was, you know, and all I wanted out of the MCU, and while I really watched it, it was like, oh, this is the thing for me. So, but yeah, I'm excited for it. I do like those characters. I really like Sam Wilson quite a bit. Well, and Anthony Mackie does a good job playing him, in my opinion. So I'm excited for that. Yeah, anyway, Disney Plus. I guess we're once again promoting this multi-billion international company. But yeah, coming soon to a small screen near you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it from the clips, little trailers I've seen for it. It looks like another Captain America movie, but
It does. Yeah.
more like 8 hours long and without Captain America.
The extended cut. Yeah, I agree. It does look like that.
That's the Snyder cut of Captain America: Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Also coming soon to a small screen near you, but from HBO Max.
Yeah, so there's a lot of superhero content that is dropping this Friday, which could be a little preview to check in with you guys on what, if anyone is clamoring for the Snyder Cut. I probably know David's answer based on the fact that I think he still has yet to see the non-Snyder Cut
Sorry, Snyder cut of what? No.
of Smurfs season finale from the old cartoon.
Yes. No, I have not gotten around to seeing it. I was not. I've been curious for a while because I heard some good things about it. And being a Superman fan, that surprise, I am one. I had heard that Superman in the previous two movies, there was a little bit of disappointment on how it was portrayed. Not necessarily, like anyone's fault, like actors or whatever, but I think it was just kind of a mix of things, the aesthetics and as well as the story and some of the things that he did. Although even some of the darker stuff with it, I try to think back to Golden Age Superman, who would throw people out of windows, and think, I mean, Superman has had his moments. But I'd heard that the way he's kind of portrayed in that one movie, that there's some sort of a cut for it. Was that John Schneider's cut? Is that what
John Schneider, yeah.
John Schneider's cut?
Dukes of Hazzard, yeah.
Yeah. I heard that he was just, that character was used a little bit differently, and they got it a little bit more right in that movie, even though the movie had some issues to it. Whether this cut will actually fix it or not, I don't know. I'll wait. I thought it wasn't released yet, but it sounds like some people are seeing it already.
There are some like you'll get your early press release thing. So I have a friend who is on the whatever review circuit type of thing. So he gets the screeners is the term I was thinking of. So I think he's seen Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 1 at least so far, but he got to see the Snyder Cut this weekend. And so yeah, there's a batch of people that have seen it, but it's mostly all reviewers and screener types. So nobody of our ilk has had access to it.
I heard that there was a goof with HBO Max, and some people, when they bought the Tom and Jerry movie, got the Snyder Cut by mistake. So
Yeah, there was like an hour of it up,
thing.
I think.
Yeah.
An extended preview.
Yeah,
I know
that's-
somebody who watched it must have just watched it today. Sounds like had some comments and um, referred to it as Generation Z's Citizen Kane. So I don't know what that means. You know, I hear that every once in a while. That is a term that's thrown out there. Not all the time, you know, but every once in a while you'd be like, yeah, it's, you know, this generation's Citizen Kane. Um, and
yeah, I hear the kryptonite is a sled the whole time.
yeah, so I don't know. I mean, some people are going to go into it loving it, you know. Some people are going to go into it just, you know, with all these preconceived notions, either that it's going to be bad and they're not going to enjoy it, so they're not going to enjoy it. Some people might go into it having very low expectations and be pleasantly surprised. Other people might think too highly of it because, I mean, there's been a lot of kind of build up and talk about it. So it could also be very disappointing for anybody who's just like, it's just built up so much for them. So we'll wait and see, you know, what people tend to think about it. But the most important thing is that regardless of what anybody else thinks of it, you know, it's what you think about it or what I think about it. You know, that's what matters. I mean, so eventually I'll get around to seeing both versions probably, and then I can judge them then. I'm still not in a big hurry for it. If there's a lot of talk about it, maybe I'll be like, okay, you know what? I've got to see it. So
Yeah, it'd be 6 hours if you watch them back to back. So
yeah, yeah, there we go. I'm just watching back to back. It'll be the something other cut.
Katie, have you seen the theatrical Justice League or any excitement towards the upcoming longer cut of the film?
It's a no for both. I don't have a strong interest in the DCU films. I've not seen the Justice League in the theater. I don't know if I'd want to now, hearing what I know about the production issues and with some of the people involved, if I would feel morally okay with that. And at the moment, I don't plan on buying HBO Max until Dune comes out. So I'm not planning on watching it. I don't have a strong interest in that.
Yeah, I would say like all of the kind of what you mentioned with the production politics and all that stuff aside, looking at the DC string of movies starting from Man of Steel on, while I do own Man of Steel and Batman v Superman and the Justice League theatrical cut, just because I'm not to a completist thing where I'm like, well, it exists, so I have to buy it. But you know, there are elements of it that I enjoy. I just don't enjoy it on an obsessive level like I would like a Marvel movie or anything like that, or let's just say Star Wars. Not to just compare DC Marvel, but
Right.
but the Wonder Woman movies, the Harley Quinn Birds of Prey movie, Aquaman, the Joker movie, all of these things that you know have come out after all of these the Snyder Batman Superman type of movies.
Hmm.
I've really enjoyed and I have a lot of fun with, and then looking a lot forward to the new Suicide Squad movie. That everything, oh, Shazam too. That's the other one I want to say. So I like the direction of them just being like, all right, let's just concentrate on doing these films. And yeah, Wonder Woman exists in the Justice League movies, but you don't have to see any of those to enjoy her movies. There's just
Right.
very minimal parts in there that you would just be like, oh, what's this about? But so I've liked everything that's been outside of that. So when I saw the Justice League in theater, um, based on the track record of Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, and then Justice League, that Justice League was my favorite one out of there because it had more
Okay.
fun elements. Wasn't, you know, a
Sure.
perfect movie if you say that, but so when it comes to the Snyder cut and a 4 hour version of it, um, HBO Max is another one, is one of the services that I'll get when there's something that comes out for it. And I know that Kong and uh, Godzilla
Godzilla.
I think that's coming out like, is it end of March? It's like another week or two, I think.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think so.
so I think I'll probably be getting it for that, and then I will casually approach the Snyder Cut, and it's gonna go one of two ways where I watch it and then I'm like, okay, I'm sitting for all 4 hours, or I watch an hour
Mhm.
and I'm like, all right, I'm turning it into an episode. I'll return to it the next day or something. So that's
That
kind of
makes
where I'm
sense.
sitting on it. But
Yeah. I mean, I think, you know, the what we're seeing in how fans are influencing pop culture and how Hollywood is working right now, I think it's very interesting in terms of film history and looking at the world around us of how did we actually get to this point where what was a Twitter meme and kind of a joke actually became a real thing, getting a Snyder Cut released from an actual studio, not like, leaking it on BitTorrent or something. I think that's very interesting and will be fun to kind of study in years ahead, especially depending on, how it results. So that's cool. I read the story behind it, and goodness, it's very tragic. I do feel, no matter what, I do feel very bad for the Snyder family. What they went through is absolutely terrible. No parent should ever have to go through that. So whatever happens with the movie, I'm glad that hopefully it'll be a chance for them to heal and, for the world to maybe grieve along with them and also to, feel better and be a part of that. So, I do think that's very moving as well. And that should not be minimized. They did suffer a terrible tragedy, and I don't think you can ever get over, but I hope maybe it hurts less.
yeah, kind of getting to finish the project, and I know they've made the statements that as far as the canonical storyline of the DC universe, that the theatrical one the is canon, and Zack Snyder one isn't. But what Katie was kind of saying, you kind of get that being able to complete that thing that spent a lot of time since 2006, I think, is when Man of Steel was. Um, yeah, I think 2006 or seven. But so to
But
kind of
I wonder then, how different it is. So is it going to matter that much for canon? Is there anything that really happens in the Snyder cut that will really affect like future movies? Do they uh they kill off Wonder Woman, and then it kind of ruins the other, you know, future movies, unless they go back and they do Wonder Woman 99 or
yeah.
something like that.
2013, I think, is what I meant to say. I was thinking Iron Man, and when
Yeah.
they
Oh,
started
Wonder
talking,
Woman 2013. Okay.
yes, Wonder Woman 2013, but Man of Steel, I think that was 2013.
Yeah, that's right.
2006, during that period, was still the Dark Knight movies. But going off of what David said there, the one actress who was going to be playing Iris West, making her debut in the Justice League movie, was cut out of the theatrical version, because that movie was only 2 hours long, which is pretty short for a big team up movie like
Yeah.
that. And she has been added to the cast and back into it for not only the Snyder Cut, but also the upcoming Flash movie that is
Oh,
that
that's
is
cool.
that is happening. It is officially happening now, because that had many bumps in the road itself. But now that actress is getting to play that character. She got her redemption to have her scenes back into the Justice League, but also being part of the Flash movie again too. So.
Yes, and sadly, the movement to bring um, to realization the Gloyd cut, it just didn't pick up enough steam, sadly, and so we still won't be seeing the Gloyd cut.
Yeah, I tweeted those hashtags like at least once every like 35 minutes or so, and I was the only one retweeting myself. So.
Yeah, it just didn't seem to catch on.
Should we maybe start a GoFundMe for that?
Yep, GoFundMe for the Gloyd cut. But yeah, so it sounds like out of us that I will probably most likely be the first one to see it, and that's all based on the Kong and Godzilla movie coming out, and then I had like 3 episodes of Fresh Prince to finish up on my rewatch before my month of HBO Max cut off on me back in January. So I will be returning to HBO Max, and we'll see how long I can make it through the. I guess that's one good thing. The benefit of having it at home is that I choose the speed of the movie, and if it was a 4 hour thing in a theater, if it was Endgame, I mean, I give me 8 hours. I will sit there, but with this one, I probably would have been like, all right, I'll just wait for home video, VHS.
Yeah, my biggest problem with a long movie, as long as the movie's good, is just that I don't want to get up and go use the bathroom because I'll miss something, and I don't care how important it is. I don't want to miss anything.
Yeah.
I fork out the cash to go see a movie in the theater. I want to see the whole thing. In fact, I want to see the trailers at the beginning. I want to see the thing where they tell us to turn off our phones, and whatever, because I'm paying to see that.
Yeah.
So,
I miss seeing that.
But that's, I mean, I am like that. Like whenever my family goes and sees a movie, they know they got to get ready, and we've got to get to the theater in plenty of time.
Yep.
Not just so that we can get the seats that we want, but I got to check out the trailers, whatever they are, even if it's a trailer that I've already seen, and go on. If we're there and we're late for the trailers, then we're just gone, like Katie.
Yeah, it is all part of the experience, and I know a friend of mine who was pregnant during some of the Marvel movies over the course of several children. Since I would have seen each new Marvel movie at least 6 to 7 times in the first week until she would go, and knowing that she was pregnant, she gave me the warning of like, all right, just let me know when I can make a bathroom run. And me knowing the films forward and backwards, there were certain points where I'm like, all right, this is the perfect time. I'm like, go, 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 go. She would come back, and I can just whisper a quick sentence being like, oh yeah, Hulk jumped out the window, and okay, you're good. So, but I do understand that. So even though I had seen the movie so many times, I'm nervous because she's not there for that, 3 minutes of that movie. And I'm just like, should have thought about that before you, decide to have children.
Yeah. Now that's why I always bring along an empty bottle.
There you go.
Man, I miss the feeling of seeing Avengers in the theater for the very first time. That was great. I still feel like superhero movies are meant to be seen on the big screen, and I love watching them at home, but they're still the most fun in a theater. I love that. I miss that feeling. Can we have that again?
Oh, I will vote yes on that motion. So
Thank you.
I concur.
Seconded. Yay, motion pass.
Yeah, and for our next episode of the Crimson Cowl Comic Club, I do have a Snyder Cut inspired letters page question brewing.
Oh.
So just be ready for that, just to kind of tie in with the theme. But yeah, we are the couple days before it, so I figured it was a kind of good time to have some pre-talk.
I'm just imagining it's going to be something like, what movie would you like to see recut by John Schneider?
I would like to see John Schneider recut the Duke the Hazzard movie that he wasn't in, the one with Stifler and Johnny Knoxville. I would like to see the John Schneider cut of that. Bring Tom Wopat back and get Catherine in there and just get let's do it right.
Yeah.
But let's see. So that was that. Covered Falcon. We covered the Snyder Cut. As far as the entertainment news, I'm thinking if there was anything else in the geek realm, whether it be comics or movies or television. I don't know if anyone can think of anything in the past week that was kind of groundbreaking.
No, not really. I mean, ever since closing a comic book store, I don't actually keep up with as much. And it's, there's good things and bad things about that. like I probably spent way too much time like looking things up and reading more into things and stuff like that than I should have. Um, the problem is now I feel like I'm completely disconnected from everything. So not completely, but you know, compared to how I was, I feel completely disconnected to everything. And yet I'm still the person that people come to and ask questions, and sometimes I have answers.
When they ask you about, the script notes on WandaVision and stuff that you've
Oh yeah, that an episode that I hadn't seen yet. Yes.
um, one thing that's unrelated to that specific topic, but of superheroes and such, but uh, because this is under the call, I almost said under the call of MS because I hear that term every day when Kirby's new episode drops. Um,
It's like
I
a
was
spin-off that has surpassed the original.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I grew up watching the Punky Brewster television show. Soleil Moon Frye, who played the title character, spun off into a cartoon animated series, is now a reboot series starring her and Freddie Prinze Jr. Over on the Peacock network. But she had something that came out that kind of caught me off guard that I didn't know anything about until it was there. So on Hulu, she released a documentary that she directed and produced called Kid 90,
Mhm.
and it does focus on her entire life growing up as the child star and everything that comes with that, and being a young adult, a child and a young adult and an adult in Hollywood. It turns out that she um, videotaped everything. So in the late 80s through the 90s, she was one that had the cameras rolling in front of her friends, and these friends are the people that we've all seen in television and movies, whether they're the actors from Saved by the Bell or 90210, even up to Johnny Depp and Charlie Sheen and Melissa Joan Hart, just like and like band members and stuff too. It's kind of crazy going through and just realizing how many circles that she was in her personal life outside of just working on that television show. And it's a very very emotional watch. It's not like, oh, here's a bunch of fun that she had. It's a very it's her that she locked away that footage for 20 years and is now revisiting it through checking in with those people, her friends, and showing them these old tapes and everything, and going through her old journal diaries and just really just laying it out there of all the stuff that has happened to her. Pretty emotional watch, but it is. While watching, was a little inspired. I don't have the share file here on my computer, but I got it on my phone here. For a little punky power, I drew up
Oh,
this, Punky Brewster drawing there. But yeah, it was pretty great. Like she's having quite the 2021 with Punky Brewster coming back, and it's actually really good. I don't expect much out of those kind of things, and like a Fuller House one that maybe I'm like, oh, it's fun watching a couple of them, but then ultimately it's for a younger audience, for the parents and their children now watching it or something. But the episodes I've seen on there are really good, surrounded by a lot of great actors. But then her directing this documentary and just sharing her entire life with the world and the most tragic moments. I gave high props to Kid 90 exclusively on Hulu. So
I am curious about that because while I wasn't in those kind of circles, you know, I was the one that would carry a video camera around, and film my friends and parties and stuff. And as far as some people are concerned, some of these tapes no longer exist.
yeah,
There were things in there um, that yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of teenagers doing things that they're not supposed to be doing. There's also people who were no longer minors doing things with minors, not as bad as what it just sounded like,
yeah,
but uh, you know, um, but
maybe
yeah, I mean,
playing
parties.
maybe playing chess instead of checkers is what you're saying.
Yeah, that kind of thing. But but things that, people as they've gotten older, they're like, I don't want that out there. And if anybody comes asking, you no longer have it. It was destroyed. And I couldn't tell you where it is right now. So, but yeah, I'd be the one that people would be yelling at to turn off the camera and get it out of their face and things like that. And I liked having out the camera. I had the great big RCA video camera. I always liked the bigger ones because felt like you could have more stability on them.
Yeah.
With holding it and stuff.
I've used some of those myself. Yeah.
And I don't think I still actually have the laying around somewhere, but I think there's something broken inside that I should actually go and actually have it repaired, because it would be fun to just like put a blank VHS tape in there, because it's not even like the small ones, it's VHS.
Yeah, actual tape. Yeah.
The problem is I really need to figure out, because I don't want to I've got a lot of personal stuff and I don't want to send it out someplace to have it converted to digital.
Yeah.
But I don't know what I need to actually do the conversion. But I'd like to do that. I mean, because it's everything from some of that stuff that you just don't want out there to, it's got very personal things. It's got, the birth of 2 of my children were videotaped. The third one wasn't allowed because of C-section. But
you had to sit in the C-section, so you couldn't see.
Yeah, I couldn't
through the A and B section
over the curtain.
Okay.
Actually, I did get to look over the curtain. It was kind of gross. I got to see her guts.
You think you would have got better seats and they would put you in the A section and not way back in the C section?
Actually, I almost thought that I was going to miss the show for the C section. They stuck me in a room. They're like, okay, we'll come get you when we're ready. And I sitting there. And
they forgot about you?
I thought so. Tammy thought so too. I mean, they're in there, they're getting everything all done and whatever. And finally, they came and got me. It's like, oh. So yeah, I thought I was going to miss that completely, but I did not get to record that one, which is a real shame. Because who wouldn't want to see that? Some alien looking things popping out of I could have made it up. It was a blockbuster.
Now I made movies for quite a long time growing up, and as well as in my adult life as well. And there was a movie I was making, a sequel of a ninja movie. I made a ninja movie short film, but then I was getting ready to make the sequel for it, and I wanted to do a little flashback scene and how that ninja was born. And a friend of mine just had a young girl. We're talking like just a couple months old. And I'm like, oh, hey, perfect. I need a baby. So the grandmother of that child made a ninja costume for a newborn baby. And, it wasn't, a full mask or anything, but it was, it was very regulation for the, no breaking any laws, no sharp objects around. But we needed to do the birthing scene and I needed to get the right angle. So I'm like, well, I'll play the person giving birth. I'm
right
just
angle.
Oh, not that right angle.
Oh, like
the correct angle, I should say. So, and I won't reenact it on here, but let's just say I had the video camera and I had to hoist up both legs and film from that viewpoint. And but so then the mother of the child was all dressed up as a doctor and everything, and had some scrubs on, and she was holding her child underneath, in a region of my body to get the most accurate perspective. Let's just say it was a very interesting afternoon. But I did film a ninja being birthed in full ninja outfit. And all I remember is that I took that video and I slowed down because the child was crying, which let me think how to word this. She didn't neglect to feed the child. She just waited a little, like around feeding time, being like, well, this will be perfect because then we'll film it quick and then the child will get to eat. So the child was, ready to act in front of the camera. So I slowed down that baby crying, and it just sounded like an elephant was just getting slaughtered or something. Like it was like the most horrific noise, and I just paired it up. I like changed all the effects on the camera. It looked like that alien, like you were saying, and just with a very deep screaming voice.
And I do want to clarify because I realized that I mentioned the alien looking thing coming out. Now, granted, a lot of kids with hydrocephalus, that's one thing. Oh, they look like a little alien, whatever. Now, Katie actually didn't really look like that. So I will clarify that she didn't really look like this alien thing.
Yeah.
She looked like a baby being pulled out of somebody's abdomen, not the usual baby coming out place.
And for people who maybe just chimed into this episode because they wanted to hear about the Snyder Cut, we should let them know that you're talking about David's Katie and not the Katie that's in this.
Yeah, David's Katie.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I'm also a C-section baby. However, I do not have hydrocephalus. But yeah, David's.
And if you want to get the David's Katie reference, that's probably on an episode.
It's my David's Katie.
Yes. I'm sure everybody is completely caught up and they know exactly all of these inside references that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And just in case you're not, remember, you can catch Under the Cowl and the Crimson Cowl Comic Club podcast with our host and sponsor, Podomatic. Also look for us on Spotify and Google Play Podcasts, now Google Music Podcasts.
There we go. And now let's cut to an ad from MeUndies. If you have your offer codes ready, you can save 50% by using hashtag John Schneider Cut. All right. We were able to get that ad in right before the end of the episode, so we're good. We covered all of the legal arrangements that we needed to for our contracts.
Yeah, I'll just add some really fine print.
That none of those ads are real. Yeah. So going into we're midway through this current week. Obviously, I am excited for Falcon and Winter Soldier, so my world just revolves around counting down to those Friday mornings. To kind of end this episode, is there anything for the second half of the week that y'all are looking forward to?
For me, it is the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yeah, it's going to be different than what we got from WandaVision, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it definitely has some potential to be just a really good show. Like I said, we've talked about it before, where it's I forget what the total length on it's going to be, but it's basically done like a movie that's just divided up into these episodes. So
not quite an 8-hour movie, but it sounds like we're getting at least hour episodes.
So we'll see what the length. These are supposed to be a little bit more of a the length on them should be a little bit more consistent.
Yeah.
Right. That was the understanding.
That's what I'm understanding. Yeah.
Okay.
Because even WandaVision was setting up to be the 6 hours as well, but as they were making that show, the showrunners have said that with Disney Plus being new and they were ready rolling and working the ideas of this back in 2017, 2018 when they're ready to filming Endgame and stuff. So they knew this was happening for quite a while, and they didn't know if the episodes were all dropping at once or if it was a week by week. And then as their COVID hit, and that changed some of their scheduling. And then I suppose once you're making something very brand new for that studio, you get to that point for a very specific show like WandaVision, you're like, well, it makes sense that these first couple episodes are a half hour, and it makes sense that this episode's longer than this one. But yeah, it seems like at least for all of the upcoming shows, it sounds like at least now they have a model to work off of, and they really kind of can get those precise run times. Katie, anything for your second half of this week that you're looking forward to?
For this week, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Very good, very good. So
I've got one other thing that's not set in stone, so it might not happen. But I very well might be having some sort of a Star Wars marathon over the weekend.
Ooh.
So,
Cool.
because while everybody likes Star Wars in my house, Ethan's the big Star Wars fan, and
Mhm.
you know, David's not around. David's Katie,
Yeah.
my David's Katie, um, is spending Saturday night at a friend's house, which it's like, wow, how long has it been since she's been able to do that? It's been a very
Yeah.
long time.
Wow.
But so we're like, okay, well, let's do something special with Ethan. So we're kind of talking about just doing some sort of a like big long weekend Star Wars marathon thing. So
And I've already got
Very nice.
started on it because if you watch closely at all of the flashing lights and reflections on my face, you will remember these scenes because this was from The Rise of Skywalker, which I'm watching in the background right now. So I'm sure you recognized all those color palettes and you're like, oh, yeah, of course he's watching that. So
Um, I actually did that in a meeting last week. Don't tell my bosses, but I did actually put Clone Wars on my phone while I was listening to a Teams call.
I was going to say, if you were on a Zoom and then you could just see the movie playing on your glasses.
That would be awesome. Oh my goodness.
I'm sure that's happened for lots of people already. So
and in
Yeah.
case Katie's boss is watching this or listening or whatever, it's a different Katie. It's not your
Yeah.
David's.
It's David.
It's not David's Katie, but it's
Oh.
not your Katie either.
Crisis on Infinite Katies.
Make it happen. Let's go.
Good. Well,
Directed by John Reiner.
you said let's go, and that's a perfect segue for this episode going away, so we can do the next one next week.
Yeah, so that's when Anthony pulls out a remote, or I've got one actually, just in case. And then we just